Oh, I love The Who. Oh, wow. That's a great song, guy. Welcome to this Thanksgiving Day episode. Or not day, Thanksgiving week
Thanksgiving
episode.
week.
Yeah, it's 2 days away.
Yeah, it is what it is. Getting ready to eat.
God,
That's Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott, or Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, I'm John. Welcome to another episode of Out of Bounds.
Yep.
And let's just jump right into it. Let's not waste any time. NHL.
NHL. Sid the Kid returning back to action after a little over, it's just about a year, actually. It was the beginning of the season last year he got that concussion.
It's been about 10 months since we've seen him on the ice, give or take a little bit of time. Good for the NHL? Yes. They need Sid Crosby on the ice skating and scoring goals.
Yeah, they need those TV ratings to be boosted. I mean, granted, the NBA is not playing. They're getting a little more fan base, but I'm just surprised that the commissioner didn't go to every team and said, hey, do not hit this kid. You can hit him when you see him, but don't go too aggressive. We don't need him back on the bench.
Yeah, and as you can hear, everybody is clapping.
I said something right for once?
Yeah, he is the face of the NHL, whether anybody realizes. I mean, I'm not even a hockey fan, but I know who Sid the Kid and Alex Ovechkin are. Yeah. And it's almost like if you don't know who Sid the Kid is, you've been living under a rock. And then you probably heard of him because he probably kicked your rock at some point. But, that's a whole nother ballgame. But, I wanted to get into a little bit about the ratings. And I know you went to the Checkers game the other night.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a full-blown, they're not a Major League Hockey team, but I mean, they're sort of the AAA of hockey. And I mean, it's the same place they hold the Bobcats games. And I tell you, I went there Friday, that place is almost packed. I mean, for a Friday night, packed, compared to going to a Bobcats game, you see maybe 50% of the seats sold, maybe.
And the thing about it is, this is a Checkers game on Friday night when people are going out and partying for the weekend, to where the Bobcats can play on a Wednesday night and it's dead.
Exactly. Just a totally different fan base. And
and to that, to the NHL's credit, if you ask me personally, this is a time that the NHL, they need to put guys like Sid the Kid front and center and pull the NBA fans who, football's winding down. People's teams are going to be out of the playoffs. This is your time to capitalize on a market of people that you may have never marketed before.
Exactly. I mean, when the NHL had their strike some years back, I'm sure the NBA capitalized on it. It's time for the NHL to do the same.
Well, if you look at what the NBA did, they went into the whole the NBA cares, and they tried to make it like a family environment in the NBA because they've all been labeled thugs at some point for obvious reasons for some of them. But, and again, the NBA tried to capitalize and get to a market of kids who didn't have hockey to watch, but maybe they would watch NBA games. So I think, again, it's time for the NHL to sit at the head of the table and try to pull some of these fans who don't have basketball to watch.
And I mean, it's good entertainment for the 2.5 hour. I mean, it's really good entertainment compared to an NBA game. I mean, I consider hockey over NBA, but I kind of grew up in the Northeast where hockey was pretty much relevant than here in the South.
Right, and even for myself, I've been to a Checkers game or two, and I can say I had a lot of fun. If you've never been to a Checkers game and you live in Charlotte or in the surrounding area, in Mooresville or anywhere, it is worth the price of admission and worth your drive downtown to watch the Checkers play.
I mean, the fights alone on the hockey rink are worth seeing.
And, well, again, though, but these are guys who are playing like AAA baseball. They're trying to make it to the big stage. So there's a lot at risk for these guys because if they don't play well, they get cut, they get demoted. It's not like a bunch of stars who, he had a couple of bad games, but he's still starting. I mean, they legitimately have to go out and play night in, night out.
Exactly.
So it's a different feel for the crowd.
Well, speaking of AAA, I mean, we might as well talk about baseball.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good way to talk. The awards have been coming out. Last week they announced the Cy Youngs. Justin Verlander won the AL Cy Young. Clayton Kershaw in a pretty close battle in the NL won a Cy Young. It was definitely between him, Halladay, and Lee.
Well, before we get into that, I want to say congratulations to Major League Baseball. We haven't said a lot of congratulations to Major League Baseball over the last couple of years. But congratulations for getting your deal done with the Players Union ahead of time and not letting it go to litigations. Going ahead, fixing your problems, putting them out there on Front Street, correcting your problems, and getting them done. They did implement some HGH testing. Again,
Good.
you get an applause for that because we do need to handle the steroid HGH problem in baseball. But let's get right back into the award winners. I just wanted to give that out there that they do have a deal done. There's no fear of a strike for at least 5 more years. So we have 5 more years of baseball, and
Bud Selig did something right. I'm just so happy and amazed.
Exactly. Now all we got to do is get the Dodgers sold, and then we can really completely move on to baseball. But that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole way another issue. Yeah, like I was saying, the NL Cy Young was kind of close. Kershaw definitely had the best season out of all 3, but you kind of thought that Holiday and Lee were going to be up there.
Well, I mean, look at Kershaw. He went 21 and 5. He had a 2.28 ERA, and he had 248 strikeouts.
NL Triple Crown.
Right, and let's be honest, he was playing for the Dodgers, who were a complete mess this year outside of Kershaw and Matt Kemp. I mean, everybody else on the team, all the distractions off the field with ownership. You know, the players were getting drug into divorce court that had nothing to do with.
Well, opening season game with the fans.
Exactly. You know, the interaction between the Dodger fans and the Giant fans, and these guys were still going out every day playing baseball and playing hard. You know, and there is a group together, I believe you said it was Hershiser,
Steve Garvey, and a couple other former Dodgers players that had, you know, money backers. They're trying to buy the team from the McCourts. But also Mark Cuban's trying to get the team, but at a better deal than what he was offered.
I would like to see Garvey and them get it. I really would. Bring that franchise back to what they helped make it into.
I don't know. I would like to actually see, you know, Mark Cuban buy the team. I would love to see him in baseball. Could you believe him being in the owner's box and an umpire making a horrible call, him ziplining down to the field?
That would be awesome. Just ziplining and dropping on home plate.
And just doing some Lou Piniella, like putting dirt on home plate. I mean, it would bring an element to baseball.
But, and hats off to Clayton Kershaw for the year to have. Let's talk about Justin Verlander. He won the AL Cy Young and the AL MVP.
It hadn't been done since, what, 92 from a pitcher?
And that was Dennis Eckersley from the Oakland A's. We actually had another guy from the Oakland A's do it in 1971. It was Vita Blue. And the only other guy to do it was Roger Clemens with the Red Sox in 1986. So this is only the 4th time that a guy has ever won the MVP
years.
And the Cy Young in the same year.
I mean, what did he have, 24 wins? I can't even count the losses because he was on the Tigers.
Well, let's say Verlander, he went 24 and 5. So he had a better record than Kershaw, but now he did pitch a little more in the postseason than Kershaw did. And he had a 2.40 ERA and 250 strikeouts. So he only had 2 more strikeouts, but he pitched in, it looks like, 3 more games than what Kershaw did because this is regular season stats.
But if he was on a different team than the Tigers, who, I mean, they're a good team. They made the playoffs, but they weren't that offensively.
Could you imagine him with the Yankees' offensive power behind him and Sabathia going 1-2?
Don't even talk about that.
Yeah.
That's going to be next on the Yankee wish list.
But also the National League MVP went to Ryan Braun from Milwaukee.
Great player.
He played in 150 games. He had a .332 batting average, .397 slugging, and a .597 on base percentage, I believe.
Do you think next year he'll be able to repeat if Prince Fielder doesn't return?
No.
I mean, Prince Fielder was kind of his protection, but.
Well, again, it gives you 2 bats who can go back to bat, or one of them can bat in front of the other guy. And when you have that in front of you, we've seen it happen to star players in the past. The big bat in front of them leaves. Look at David Ortiz in Boston. The first year that Manny left, he had a bad year. He got busted for steroids. His stats went down. And now he's a year or 2 removed from that, and he's got other guys in the lineup.
Gonzo.
Exactly.
Dustin Pedroia.
Right, and it's boosted him back up to what he was. But again, it took a year to find that next guy in the lineup to kind of coexist with him to really get him back to what he was.
Yeah, but the Brewers aren't really that big of a market team. I don't know if they can find somebody that will help complement Braun. I'm sure they'll try, but I don't know how much cap room they're going to have left.
Well, we'll just have to see how it goes because, again, who's to say that Prince Fielder doesn't come back? Who's to say he doesn't, come back? He's been there. He's had some things happen there with interaction with fans and teammates. But, like I said, in the end, he's the only person that can say whether or not he wants to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's baseball silly season.
But we'll also get into really quick a little side baseball note here. Bobby Valentine,
the great Mets manager,
is interviewing for the Red Sox job.
That would be so great for Beantown.
It would be because they need authority to come back to their managerial position. I like Terry Francona, but he lost that locker room this year. Let's face it.
Bobby B is the kind of guy, he won't lose the locker room.
No.
I mean, and plus Francona was kind of the silent guy, in the dugout. He would be, give a clap. But he wouldn't go out in the field and challenge the umpires. And Bobby V, as we've seen in the past, he will challenge an umpire. He will go out, get his players a little jacked up, and he might return back to the dugout in a fake mustache and glasses.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, good move for Boston from the outside looking in. But talking about good moves, let's roll right into some football talk.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving Day games are going to be relevant this year.
Yep. They're going to be great. Well,
they're going to mean something this year is the main fact here. And, you start off at 12:30, right around time some folks are going to have. Well, it depends. Do you have lunch? Do you have dinner? We usually do a lunch about 1 o'clock. My family does.
Normally on Thanksgiving, I don't wake up till about 12.
Exactly.
Football time.
So you got Green Bay and Detroit kicking it off. And
great game.
The headlines here are Detroit, these young stars are finally emerging and playing together as a team.
Yeah, look at Sunday's game.
Exactly. And then you've got Green Bay, who's 10-0 and 5-0 on the road. So we're going to find out where Detroit is, and we're also going to find out, is Green Bay as dominant as we think they are to go ahead and put the pedal down on these teams and get rid of these teams and try to go undefeated?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Detroit, I think, is going to be their big test because of the offense. I mean, Detroit's offense is as potent as Green Bay's, but they didn't have the defense to complement it. Who knows? Maybe Detroit's interior line can actually get to Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. Thursday we'll know.
The biggest thing for me is quarterback play for the Lions, Matthew Stafford. If Green Bay starts to blitz, is he hitting check downs or is he still trying to throw the long ball? Because let's face it, Charles Woodson's going to come after you. Clay Matthews is going to come after you. That's just a given.
Yep.
And that's only two of the guys on that defense. So, again, Matthew Stafford has to play a big part in this game. And moving on to the game at 4:15 that day, we have the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys. Big game for the Cowboys.
Yep.
Because they're 2 games over 500. They're playing better. They got to continue to keep this thing going. And Miami's playing well. They've racked up 3 straight wins, I want to say. Yep. So they're going for 4 in a row. It's going to be a tough test against Dallas, though.
I don't know. I wasn't sold on Matt Moore when he was in Carolina. And when Miami signed him, it kind of baffled me. But he's been playing really well. And
rounding out the games that night at 8:20 on NFL Network, you have the Harbaugh brothers.
Yep.
The 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens are playing each other. 49ers are 9-1. They're 4-0 at home.
Surprise of the NFL, the 49ers.
But Baltimore is 7-3, but they're 5-0 at home.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's he's just turned the 49ers around. Mm-hmm. Their defense is a defense of old. I mean, these guys just love getting after the ball. They have solid tacklers. I mean, they have a great linebacker in Patrick Willis, who's probably as fast as any tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, fast. And then you got the other middle linebacker beside him, who I can't. His name's leaving off the top of my head, but he wears 53. Patrick Willis wears 52, and they're arguably playing the best linebacker core in the NFL right now.
And I mean, the 49ers are playing some simple offense: run the ball, and then play action passes. And
here's the other thing, too, is does Ray Lewis play in this game? Because when Ray Lewis is in that Ravens defense, it's a different dimension. When he's up there, he's countering what your quarterback is checking to. He's checking calls to Terrell Suggs and Terrence Cody up there up front. So, again, and Ed Reed back in the back feels better with Ray Lewis in front of him. So it's going to be a great game. I really feel like that game may steal the show that day unless the Lions show up. So it'll be a great day of football along with some turkey.
Oh, I can't wait for some turkey. All right, I guess that'll do it for this week's edition. You guys have a good day. I'm Scott.
And I'm John, and we'll be coming back next week.
Yep, with a full stomach.